Coming up in the weekend edition, a march of solidarity in the fight against crime. And a cultural icon is honored. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening and welcome to the weekend edition of the Bahamas Tonight. I'm Kindino Knowles. As always, it's good to have you with us. A bold initiative taken to help stamp out the use of weapons and promote peace in our community. Residents led by the Bain and Grantstown Urban Renewal, the Bahamas Crisis Center, the Defense Force, police, pastors, and youngsters sought to promote the anti-crime message. They marched through the streets of the community that was one of the hardest hit by violent crime in 2013. Accompanied by the Urban Renewal Band and adorned in T-shirts that read, "Put down the guns, save a life," the group attempted to reach out to at-risk youth to show there is no future in a life of crime. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Nottage, said a community effort can and will promote change.
As we walk through communities, please try to engage the neighbors, engage the young men especially, and the young women, and let's show them some love. Let's talk to them with a magnet and a message so that we draw them to what we are seeking to establish in this community. This area that you are going to be marching through has been one of the most toxic areas with respect to crime, with respect to armed robberies, with respect to murders. You can make a difference this afternoon.
Now, the march signaled the launch of an anti-gun initiative expected to run for the entire month of February and will include school visits and a billboard campaign. Co-chair of the Urban Renewal Commission, Cynthia Pratt, said to effectively fight crime, it would take a joint effort.
We're going to walk together in unity, in love, and we will demonstrate to this Bahamas and indeed the world that we will not sit down idly by and just let our country go to the dogs. No, no, no. We must stand. We must stand. We must stand. And whatever you can do to help to save a life, that's what it's all about. Do not be afraid to stand up for what is right.
Well, as the fight against crime intensifies, expansion of the judicial system is said to be advancing very well. Minister of State for Legal Affairs, Damian Gomez, says work on the temporary courts above the Central Police Station and the old Batalco building is nearing completion. Minister Gomez anticipates the 5 courts to be in use by the beginning of next month.
So on the 3rd of March, it is hoped that the Supreme Court will commence usage of the new facilities, and that is a major step forward in attacking the backlog which currently exists on our criminal side of the Supreme Court. It is hoped that we will more than double those numbers of trials and that we will enable judges in the Supreme Court to set their calendars for dates in a manner different from what has happened to date.
Now, to further enhance the criminal justice system, the government has also engaged the help of consultants.
We have solicited the help of the Commonwealth Secretariat, and next week a Professor Chowdhury from Australia will be visiting, and he will be doing a needs assessment for our jurisdiction and ultimately giving us further advice as to how best to effect the required changes to a system which by now all and sundry should have recognized as having become broken. Additionally, the Commonwealth Secretariat is providing to us 2 consultants from Canada to assist us in the establishment of the Public Defenders Unit and on delivering on a promise that has been made by both sides of the aisle at one point or another since at least 1992.
Well, the crime problem and other national issues are certainly not sitting well with members of the opposition Free National Movement. In fact, the members assembled for a prayer service today for the country and a turnaround to many challenges facing the country, including crime and unemployment. Now, they also pledged their commitment to help build and move the party forward within the next few years. Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis further highlighted the significance of the special gathering.
We think it's essential that we continue to galvanize and remain together. We think it's essential. Lots of turmoil going through our nation is experiencing in terms of individuals losing their jobs, in terms of individuals losing their homes, and in terms of the criminal factors that we're seeing within our country. And we think with all this turmoil within the country, the FNM too would pray that the country comes out of this problems that we face, that it's not a problem that affects just one party or another. It's a problem that affects the entire society.
The results of a labor force household survey conducted over a 6-month period reveal that Grand Bahama had the largest decrease in unemployment, with figures dropping from 19.5% to 16.8% as of May last year. But you may wonder what factors may have led to the decrease in unemployment. Well, Director of Statistics Kelsey Dorsett explains.
I know that there are some new projects going on. Some of them have already employed persons. Some of them are going to later on in the year. Say, for instance, Bahama, they have brought on some people, but we know they are bringing on many more later as the year passes. So we can only assume that that is what is happening. We noticed recently there has been a few companies that have been downsizing, but that has happened since November, during the period of November when we were conducting, the end of October, November, when we were conducting the survey. There were a few, jobs coming on board, so that will contribute to the unemployment rate.
Now, Mrs. Dorsett says the information given by Bahamians during the household survey is strictly confidential, and she encouraged all Bahamians to take part in another survey to be conducted this coming May.
I take this opportunity to tell the Bahamian public out there how critical this information is and how we really would like to appeal to them to cooperate with our enumerators. But we do have challenges. Major ones would be with gated communities. It's difficult getting access to those communities. And even when we do go through the proper channel, getting, the information in terms of sending out letters to the people responsible for those communities, even some of the people within those communities feel that, they paid for their privacy and they don't want anyone coming to bother them. But they're still a part of this country and our society, and it's critical that we get that information as well.
Meantime, a new visa exemption agreement between the Bahamas and China will take effect this coming Wednesday. The agreement allows a person holding a valid diplomatic, official, service, public affairs, or ordinary passport from either country to travel visa-free for up to 30 days. However, it does not allow the holder to engage in gainful employment, to study, or to reside in the country. Now, while this agreement will allow visa-free travel, visitors are still expected to meet general entry requirements when being processed by immigration authorities. Travelers are required to present a passport with relevant visas for transit states and a round-trip ticket for entry and exit. Those that do not meet general entry requirements will be denied entry at any immigration checkpoint. If visitors wish to remain beyond the period of stay granted upon entry, they must apply to immigration authorities for an extension. Well, coming up, the name of a cultural icon mounted on the street in a well-known community. That and more after the break.